From passionate letters to a heartbreaking divorce, Napoleon and Josephine's love story is as grand and tragic as the empire they ruled. Hi everyone, welcome to my channel, Beauty and Love, The Secrets of Mysteries. Today we are exploring the Malmaison, where Napoleon sent Josephine these desperate pleas. Make sure to hit that subscribe button so you never miss an exciting episode. Josephine was a young woman of only 20 years old when she met the man who would become Emperor Napoleon Bonaparte. She was the daughter of a middle-class family in the city of Ajaccio, on the French island of Corsica. And at the time, her father was a general in Bonaparte's artillery regiment. Although Josephine was just a teenager, Napoleon was immediately taken by her beauty and grace. And despite the disapproval of her parents who found him too young and too poor to marry their daughter, the two began a secret relationship. At the age of 23, Josephine gave birth to Napoleon's first child, a baby girl named Julie. But sadly, the infant died at only 2 weeks old. Napoleon was furious with his wife for her inability to bear a male heir, and he began an affair with one of Josephine's ladies-in-waiting, Madame de Rabat. Feeling rejected and heartbroken, Josephine became romantically involved with an old family friend, General Leclerc. This affair produced a son, Louis, but the boy was put up for adoption and raised by his adoptive mother, Marie Waluska. After giving birth to Louis, Josephine suffered from health issues, possibly due to complications from previous pregnancies and multiple abortions. She fell into a deep depression and was unable to conceive any more children. As a result, Napoleon took several mistresses, including the famous Madame de Montespan. While continuing to pressure Josephine to produce a legitimate heir, the situation became so dire that Napoleon's brother Lucien wrote to him, "For heaven's sake, think of someone else. You're killing your wife." But Napoleon refused to consider a divorce. He was bound by his Corsican upbringing to be faithful to Josephine, even though he admitted to their close friend Madame de Staël that he no longer loved her. In an attempt to save their marriage, Josephine accompanied Napoleon to the island of Elba, after he was exiled from France. It was there that he learned of her affair with General Leclerc, and he returned to Paris before her arrival, informing the press that they were separating. This public announcement shocked the nation as no one was aware of the breakdown in the couple's marriage. Napoleon then moved into the Tuileries Palace with his mistress, Madame de Montespan, causing Josephine to retreat to her estate at Malmaison. Despite their separation, Napoleon and Josephine were still technically married, and it was here in the estate of Malmaison that Napoleon begged his estranged wife to take him back. We know this because many of Napoleon's letters were found hidden in the walls of Malmaison after the estate was cleared out. Many of these letters are filled with desperate pleas for Josephine to forgive him. Let me read some of them to you. "My love for you has never diminished. It is true that I have made 1,000 follies, but none so great as to be ungrateful towards you. How happy I should be to enjoy once again the sweetness of your society, to feel myself blessed by your smile. To hear you say to me again those words which have so little meaning now that I am without them, I am yours. What moments of happiness we have passed together at Malmaison. Oh, if I could recall them all, what a sweet, delightful dream it would be." And yet, despite these heartfelt pleas, Napoleon had begun proceedings to end his marriage with Josephine. His counselor, Cambacérès, informed Josephine that Napoleon wanted a divorce. She responded, "That's impossible. Your Majesty cannot separate from me. We are bound by our troth in the eyes of God." Cambacérès continued to assure her that this was possible, saying, "You have nothing to fear. I will have the ceremony performed in private, with only the officiating priest and one other person present. It will not be known in France until the divorce is complete." Although she agreed to the divorce, Josephine made it clear that she would never accept a separation, stating, "As long as I live, I shall continue to love him." But tragically, this was not to be the case. On May 1810, the divorce between Napoleon and Josephine was finalized on the grounds of her adultery with General Leclerc. She was granted the title of Empress Dowager. One for a mess on Sarai, do one with a briar, so time and kind of went downwards and went the one that went so. Franks, in addition to the palaces of Fontainebleau and the Villa del Belvedere near Rome, Napoleon married his mistress, Madame de Montespan, in the same month, and she gave birth to a son, Napoleon II, in March of 1811. Meanwhile, Josephine was beginning a relationship with a Swedish diplomat named Baron Struckfield. She confided in him, saying, "A cruel destiny has separated us from each other. Lass, I know that my presence is a torment to the first person in the state, and that I can do nothing but harm to him whom I still love tenderly." Despite her own unhappiness, Josephine continued to insist that she would never remarry. "My heart belongs to the tomb," she declared. However, in October of 1814, just a few months after Napoleon's final exile to St. Helena, Josephine married Baron Struckfield. In a small ceremony at the age of 50, she told him, "I am yours. I belong to you now, and for the whole eternity that Providence may grant us." Sadly, the marriage was not a happy one. Josephine was deeply affected by the loss of her power and prestige, and she longed for the days when she was empress. She complained to her new husband, "There is no pleasure in life without variety. The days are long, monotonous, and gloomy. One is weary of seeing the same four walls, and of hearing the same clock striking the same hours. How can one amuse oneself in a place where everything reminds one of one's misfortunes?" As Josephine's health deteriorated, she developed breast cancer, and she traveled to Germany for treatment. But the disease soon spread to her bones, and she grew weaker. Eventually, the pain became unbearable, and her doctor advised her to take a drastic measure, to have one of her breasts amputated. She refused, declaring they must not mutilate the work of art that nature has produced. Instead, she spent her final days in bed, drinking only milk and water, and subsisting on the visits of her friends and family. On May 29, 1814, Josephine died at the age of 53, never having recovered from her heartbreak over Napoleon's betrayal. She was buried next to her parents in the Church of St. Pierre in Ajaccio, Corsica. Her funeral procession included 12 black carriages carrying her grief-stricken family and friends. As for Napoleon, he won his final battle against the Austrians at the Battle of Karansebes. But he lost his battle with the British at Waterloo and died believing himself to be betrayed by his counselors, his generals, and even his wife. He was only 51 years old when he died, having been shot by a British sniper. Napoleon's body lay in state at the Palace of London before being embalmed and transported back to France, where it is now buried in Les Invalides. And finally, let us look at some of the items that you can purchase today to help preserve this magnificent property, like the one behind me, which is currently for sale on the Napoleon Foundation website. All of the proceeds go directly towards the upkeep of this historical site. There are also guided tours available. If you ever find yourself in France, make sure to visit this amazing place. Thank you all for watching. I really hope that you enjoyed this video. Which room was your favorite? Let me know down below in the comments section. While you're there, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you never miss an exciting episode. I would also like to take a moment to say a special thank you to our supporters whose names you can see on screen right now. I'll see you next time.